Hello and welcome back to Nomifactory. I am sorry if this episode sounds a little bit different and if you can hear my keyboard clicks more than you usually can. I'm trying to fix the issue and it's caused by me having a new setup. So it takes some fiddling around and I will hopefully know how to do it soon. I hope you enjoyed this episode and let's get into it. The first process I automated between episodes is this Nether Stars setup here. I pulled some of the ingredients from... I have also jump on off with that. I pulled some of the ingredients from over here into a storage network, like a draw network here. So we have all the dusts, the blaze, the thermal mob drops, some mana dust, luminescence, I think this is sterling silver, and some blaze powder. And we use some of that to automate the Nether Stars here. You need all the rods, luminescence, all the dusts, and some nether quartz to make the Nether Stars here. It's just crafters making the tip here, and like the other tips are made with some nether quartz and some of this thermal mob dust. And the core here, let's see, where's the core? This makes luminescent blocks. This makes the core. It's this recipe here, so I extract all that into here, and all the tips that are made I extracted into the top autocrafter here, which makes it into Nether Stars. And I just have filters. I have limited item filters so that we don't buffer too much in here. It would be kind of stupid, and it's also so it doesn't overflow with one of the things and stop working. So that's quite a few reasons. And I just limited the output inventory with some laboratory blocks so that it won't just use of it. It just keeps a little buffer. Right here is quite a big project. It's passive signalum, and I'll take you through how I did it. Let's see, I started with... That's too far. I started with setting up a 16 ampere energy converter, and that needs more RF than one connection can give. So I just connected on all the sides so that it would be able to get enough power. I obviously use 6 times end steel wire so that they won't burn. And I've done all the cabling under here as well. Let's start here with the components. The macerators makes us the dusts that we need to mix in these mixers. We have electron dust being made, copper dust, annealed copper dust. Brass dust is mixed in here. I realized later on that I missed a mixer, so that's what we do here. This extractor makes us destabilized redstone, which we make into destabilized clathrate with some nether quartz. I make the annealed copper here because I realized I didn't have passive annealed copper, so that's what I just made here. This storage drawer network is connected to the ME system, so it can see all of these. I extract all of the components that I pulverize or mix into the draw network here, and then I extract them from the ME system, so it keeps the drives clean. Like if I had some more ardite dust in the drive, it would use that first because it's a lower priority. So we also have steel dust being made on here. It's used for all kinds of mixing processes, so it would be nice to have like a little small buffer here. I make some zinc dust as well. The zinc I don't get from the DML setup. We need to run microminers for that, and we also need the sphalerite, purified sphalerite, for some other process that I will go through when we get there. The first mixer here we use to make bismuth bronze. We use the brass that we mix over here. That's just zinc and copper. We use that together with bismuth, which we get from processing, I think it's cassiterite. From processing cassiterite that we get from the microminer. I'm pretty sure we get bismuth from that. Here is the, that's just mixing the signalum dust. I will get to that. Here we mix black bronze. That's just electrum dust mixed with copper. The electrum I just get from polarizing electrum ingots, which we have already processed. We don't mix that here. Here we mix red steel dust, which is black steel dust, sterling silver. The sterling silver we get over from the aluminum setup. Steel dust and bismuth bronze dust. The bismuth I just showed you. The black steel dust we mix here. That's red coal, steel dust, black bronze dust, and void crystals. The red coal you need to be careful with filtering. You need to pick up one from the setup you have, because the one in NEI doesn't have the same NBT data as the one that is getting made, so you need to use one of those when filtering. And yeah, we have that set up down there that just runs and has run forever. Down here we have a setup for void crystals. It's already full. It's a interface which supplies with coal here, and it still supplies with coal even when that drawer is full. Let's see here. We'll destroy this. This should not drop when the drawer is full, so we need to make some automation for that. But we have a bit of void crystals here. Yeah, that's how we get those. I automated those down there. That's just a atomic reconstructor, a vacuum chest which picks up the void crystals. There's a filter in there for the void crystals, and it just drops down on a pressure plate, which makes the atomic reconstructor do a laser, and it turns the coal into void crystal, and the vacuum chest just picks it up and puts it into this drawer here, which has a storage bus. I automated the making of tier 3 microminers. Let's see here, tier 3. We can order one of those. Let's see the components. Most of this was pretty easy. Like these we have in the tier 2 as well. This tungsten carbide plate is no problem because tungsten carbide has been running for a while. These thrusters we made for the jetpacks, so those wasn't a problem. And the microminer cores we have seen before. This turbo combustion generator is just some high voltage components. But this MV field generator caused us a little bit of trouble. You need this magnesium diboride wire, which is this ingot here made from a dust. That's mixing magnesium with boron. The boron we got a lot of from... We got a lot of that from electrolyzing borax. This recipe here. borax dust. Borax dust you get from ore processing rock salt ore and just normal salt ore. We just put that into the ore setup here, which has a lot of dust now. That's how we get the borax, and yeah, we electrolyze that into boron. And we just mix that manually in the EV mixer we have here, and made the, let's see here, magnesium diboride. This we just put into a on-demand blast furnace and made a batch. I'm not sure we have more. Yeah, okay, we have 100 of it, so we can run more tier 3s if we want to. And we manually have to make the mining lasers. These reinforced mining lasers we manually have to make and put into the AE system, and then the craft will be put into this storage crate here, and then we can make it in this elite extended crafting table. So let's just make some space and craft these. Put those into the AE system, and then the craft should complete. It does. And we should, oh, it needs to be the elite. And we can just craft the tier 3 like that. This needs to run together with a super chest and 4 quantum flux. And some rocket fuel, of course. We have the super chests on auto crafting. And the quantum flux we can make some more of. We can throw in the quantum flux, the tier 3 microminer. And we need a super chest. And there's runs. We have already, I already run quite a few of those, so it's nothing new, but I just wanted to show you. We set up a couple of more drawers and put in the ores into there. And yeah, we get cassiterite from this process, and the cassiterite, when ore process, give us bismuth dust, which we use in Signalum at the moment. We have quite a bit of it. We have 6,000. I'm not quite sure what we need to do with the rest of the ores, but there's probably a use for all of them. This lepidite is kinda interesting. Yeah, you get boron for that as well, and this cesium. I'm not sure you need that until you need to make the mode of omnium, but we have it now, so that's good. I probably kind of spoiled it before. We also made the wireless terminal finally. For that you need this security terminal, so that you can bind your crafting terminal. You just put it in here, and then it's bound to your AE system. This wireless receiver makes sure that you can access your crafting terminal, but it has a range of only 16 meters, and then you can boost it if you want. The other way you can boost your range is that you make this quantum ring and put in this quantum link card. For the quantum ring, you need, let's see here, these quantum stars, which is just radon crafted together with the Nether Star, the radon we have used before. We have used that for making quantum eyes. So now you just use them together with a Nether Star. The link chamber is pretty easy. It's just fluix pearls and quartz glass. The tricky part of this is obviously the quantum Nether Stars, but also the link card here. For that you need 2 singularities and a advanced cast. These singularities you get by putting a 64 ME storage component, which is pretty easy for us now. And you put in, I think it's 256,000 items or liters of fluid into this matter condenser, and then you get singularities. I have quite a few now because the world has run, but I think it took 3 hours with 2 super tanks with infinite water covers injecting it into there, and a compact cobblestone generator that took like, let's say 2 hours to make 1 singularity, and you need 2. So that's how you do that, and you just put it into the inscriber to get this link card. And the link card you need to put into the quantum ring and connect it up to the A system, like so. There is also a slot here, but you don't put it in there. That doesn't work. You need to put it into a quantum ring for it to work. So now you know how I made Signalum and how I made tier 3 microminers, but we also progressed even further and made tier 4 microminers. We need quantum ice to make more of them, but Signalum. Let's look at the recipe here. I showed you how I made the Signalum. The reinforced mining lasers we already made at tier 3. This we also know. Tungsten steel crate is just made like every other crate, just with tungsten steel. This is just some basic thermal expansion reactor, or like turbine. The energetic thrusters we made when making jetpacks, but these high voltage field generators we haven't made before. And that requires quantum ice and these mercury, barium, calcium cuprate wires. That's a mouthful to say. And this dust here requires a lot of items. We need this barium, which I will get to. Calcium we get from some process. I think it's processing apatite we get calcium from. This setup here, where we make phosphoric acid and phosphor dust. That's that's where we get the calcium from. It's a byproduct, but we need it now. The copper dust is obviously easy. Oxygen we have a lot of. Mercury we get from electrolyzing redstone, or centrifuging, sorry. We get some pyrite and some ruby dust as well, and a lot of mercury. I just crafted up a batch of this, and you get 16 per mix of this. So we have quite a lot. It has run in the on-demand blast furnace for a while, so we have a lot of this. The barium here we get from electrolyzing barite, and this we get from ore processing Certus quartz, or this here. We get tiny piles of barite, which we package into normal piles, and then we centrifuge that. Here. Oh, sorry, electrolyze it, and we get oxygen, sulfur, and barium. And the Certus quartz ore we get from a microminer. That's what we get from the tier 3. So you kind of need the tier 3 to make the tier 4, unless you have a lot of Nomi coins you want to spend. Then you could, I guess, skip the tier 3. Probably. Yeah. But for a steady supply of barium, you do need microminers. I'll just batch up some more quantumize, and then we can make a signalum plated microminer. Let's see here, I think we have everything to make a tier 4 signalum plated microminer. So we will just craft that, cancel this craft, cancel this craft. This needs a lot of components, so it will finish in due time. And you also have to craft the reinforced mining laser so that it will finish. But in the meantime, I can talk to you about what you use the tier 4 microminer in. You need the advanced microverse projector, which I built here. It's a 5x5x5 with diamond blocks in the middle. It needs to be hollow, the diamond block mass here. There is a, let's see here. There's a space in the middle, as you can see. That messed me up a little. I had to rebuild it quite a few times. You need a input bus and a high voltage output bus, and it needs to run at IV, but I just have a 4 amp EV hatch, which makes it run at 1 amp IV, which is enough for most of the missions. Let's see here. This needs, this just needs IV, and we are able to provide that. Oh yeah, and another thing we haven't seen is this signalum plated engine core. It's just like the other engine core, it's just made with signalum instead, and it needs to be crafted in an EV alloy smelter. That messed me up as well. I thought you could use high voltage, but it needs to be EV. We need to craft up the mining lasers. Like so. Drop them in. This fills up with the items. That's just, let's see here. It is like the other microminers, but if you forgot or just haven't seen that episode, I will show you here. I just put in the different items. We just barely have enough space here. I say 1 tier 4 microminers is the same as these items here. Then I just put the pattern into a interface I have here. It's in there. It drops the, you can barely see it behind the I have an interface here with all the microminers. And it just drops it into this crate here, so that we can manually craft it. It needs to be done in the elite crafting table as well. And we should have everything to make it here. It just doesn't want to craft. But we have it. These in the advanced microverse projectors do not need rocket fuel to run. Instead they run on this petroleum dust, which we already have made. And you need some wither realm data to run it. This we get from DML, or Deep Mob Evolution. And the wither data model is just a Nether Star together with a blank data model. And I just have one of these at the moment. I'm not sure. I probably need more at one point. So we have that. Petroleum. We need a stack of that. We need some wither realm data. 4 of those. And we need some quantum flux. This we run in the big one here. We already have some of it. And this runs. And it takes 40 seconds. And this gives us our first iridium here, and also osmium. You take this ore here, Iridium mine 8020 and osmiridium 8020, and ore processes like all the other ores that we process. The osmiridium is more osmium than it is iridium, and the iridium osmium is more iridium than it is osmium. And I just throw it into here. And then we get our first iridium and osmium. The iridium we have already smelted in the blast furnace because we need that for our IV components. Let's see here. Yeah, we have 400 iridium here. We should also craft up the osmium because we need that for some of the machines as well. Let's see here. Osmium. No, we can't craft that up yet. We need LUV to smelt that. Yeah, we need LUV, and we don't have access to IV hatches yet, I don't think. We need indium for that, and I'm not... I haven't set that up yet. Now that we have our first iridium and quite a bit of it, we should be able to make this IV circuit assembler here. All we needed, like we have all these components besides the IV emitter. The quantum star we have. The only hard part about this was the iridium, but we got that from the tier 4 microminer. So we should be able to craft up a IV emitter here. And I already set up the patterns. So we should, let's see here, should be able to auto-craft a IV circuit assembler. We are not, because we need a quantum star. Those we at some point will automate as well, but not right now. We have a lot of quantum eyes here. Let's get a star. Is this not using up the radon? I don't think this is using up the radon. Not sure if that's a glitch or not. Yeah, no, I think that's a glitch. I think this should use up the radon, but it isn't. That is weird. Well, let's abuse it until it's patched. Okay, so now with the quantum star, can we make it? Yeah, we can. This just needs to craft up. In the near future, it's my goal to craft up SMD components on passive. But I really wanted it to be advanced SMDs before I go for the SMD components, but these look not easy to make. Yeah, we'll probably passive these yellow ones, the basic SMD components, because I'm tired of waiting for it to craft them all up. So if we had like 1,000 of these on passive, that should be way quicker to craft up. Oh yeah, and a small note, this needed a lot of... I think most IV machines need this graphene wire here. Graphene dust is a pain to get. You need this graphite, which I have not found a sustainable way of getting this yet. Maybe you can get some diamond ore from somewhere. We can, yeah, okay, we can use the Signalum microminer to get these dense diamond ores, we can then with some nitric acid make them into diamond ore, and then we can ore process that to get graphite. So that's a way to do it. But yeah, that's a kind of pain to do, but it is possible to do it. Yeah, the circuit assembler crafted up here. And we need to find space for it in the clean room. We'll probably tear down this old setup. Take the patterns and put it into the EV assembler. Like so. This we can tear down. The precision engraver we'll probably make another one of. And the cutting machine we can also remove. And then this could become our IV line. Can we make an IV precision engraver? I think so. Yeah, we might be able to make this. So we would probably make it all at IV, but I'll have a look at that later. The last process I want to talk about today that I just made is the indium plant here, and also the sulfuric acid. This sulfuric acid is just water. I have an infinite water cover on here, so it just gets water, and an input bus filled with sulfur and a programmed circuit of 24. This makes sulfuric acid very easily, no long process, just sulfuric acid. Right now it's running HV, but I'm crafting up a IV setup here. I'll just take this and take this. I'll need to let the cat out, like so. Because we want this process fast, we need a lot of sulfuric acid. Let's see how fast we make it. Every second, and it's 1 bucket. So this should be able to keep up with the demand we have. This is at least working again, it wasn't before. So we are getting indium here. Let me show you the process. We have N-sphalerite, galena, aluminium, and small indium pile dust in the ME interface here. The N-sphalerite and galena ore we get from microminers. We have sulfuric acid going into this. And the setup is, the first line is advanced macerators, macerating the ores into the crushed variant. Then we wash them, both of them, and we put them into the chemical reactor here together with sulfuric acid. This makes, let's see here. This makes indium concentrate, this here, which we chemical react with aluminium dust in here. No, in here. This gives us small indium piles, this one here, and aluminium sulfide dust, which we can probably centrifuge or electrolyze. And we have a packager here making the small piles into normal piles. That's how that works. The connections, I have purple extraction into the draw controller here, so that all the byproducts gets pushed into here as well. I have fully upgraded with diamond upgrades all of these drawers, so storage shouldn't become a problem, and when it does, we will just void off. Put a void upgrade in them. That's how I do this, and this is probably the last thing I will do this episode. We made... No, sorry, I forgot something. I am producing air here, which we freeze with a vacuum freezer. We then extract directly into a distillation tower, which distills the liquid air into argon, helium, carbon dioxide, oxygen, and nitrogen. And these we will put on a negative priority, sorry, because we need this to keep running, and we will trash off the rest. We already do that. So this should keep producing argon, and we need that to solidify, as we do here. We solidify the argon, which is needed for the reinforced mining laser here, and later on for the mode of Omnium. Yeah. I think that was the last thing I had to explain this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Next episode we'll probably start making quantum circuits, and also look at tier 5 microminers. I'm not sure we'll be able to make them because of these EV field generators, but we might be able to. Yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Bye bye.